content around the steps you follow to launch your application. Prototype and build, test, deploy, and run.
So we're going to start with the prototype and build stage because, well, that's where most applications and projects start. And the big news in the prototype and build stage, next slide, is Firebase Studio, which, awesome product. There we go. We launched that up next, and in the weeks since then, we have had 1.5 million workspaces created. That is a lot of amazing applications. Sada, what's the coolest thing you've seen?
Oh, I've seen hundreds of applications from developers of many kinds. From an expense management tool, to a kart racing game, from a storytelling app, to an app that allows you to learn how to speak Japanese.
I love that one. I loved all the really cool language learning apps that people came up with. A kanji learning one to practice your conversational language. It's been amazing.
You know what my favorite one is?
What?
I'm going to geek out a little bit. There is one that we built that uses the power of Gemini to let kids learn quantum physics.
Ooh.
That's pretty impressive.
Neat. So
for those who haven't heard of it, Firebase Studio is our cloud-based AI workspace. With Firebase Studio, you can use AI to create and modify highly functional apps just using prompts or jump into code mode, thanks to the power of full extensible IDE based on CodeOS and an underlying VM. In addition to AI-driven app creation, we have a set of agents that help you through the SDLC tasks, including testing and documentation, which are in private preview.
So I can use Firebase Studio to build Go services and Python backends too, right?
You got it.
Okay.
There are more than 60 templates for common languages and frameworks, including Python, Kotlin, Angular, Flutter, and more. And we are always working to add in more of them. And if you can find a template that works for you, Firebase Studio is highly customizable, allowing you to create a deployment environment with the packages and tools you need.
So in the last 6 weeks, we've added many requests from the community to Firebase Studio. First of all, in early May, we incorporated Gemini 2.5, which enables Firebase Studio to create more complex apps with much more sophisticated UI. Second, as you heard just a couple hours ago, we've added back-end integrations with Firestore and Firebase Auth. And so when you're prototyping your applications, it will understand if this application needs a database or auth, set up any required local environments that you can test your application locally, and then when it comes time to deploy, it will automatically provision and configure those services for you. We started rolling out that feature this week, and it will be rolling out to the rest of the community over the next several weeks.
So, your application look and feel is extremely important. We heard from users that you wanted to bring Figma designs into Firebase Studio to kickstart your building. So, we partnered with Builder.io to let you do so. We also added significant improvements for working with app designs and layouts that include images. For example, we added features around placeholder images and the ability to use Gemini in runtime to generate image content.
But words are easy, so we're going to actually prove it and do a demo live. Cross your fingers for me, folks. So let's switch to the demo. Here I am in Firebase Studio home screen, and like Seba said, there's all these templates, your Go, Python, and many, many, many more that you can start from, and that's just a small selection of them. But I'm going to prototype with AI today, and I want to build the game. I'm going to build the game and go. Wait. We have a programming language called that. I should probably be slightly more specific, huh? Go game. See how that works. So the first step of prototyping with AI is that Firebase Studio gives you a blueprint. You can think of this as a specification, a PRD, as technical design document, and more all rolled into one. And it lays out a name for the app and also the features it believes that you want. And this is a place where you can iterate back and forth with the AI before any code is written to make sure that the app is one you want to build. For this, we've got a board display. You got to put your Go stones on the board, some stuff on capturing, move validation so I can't cheat, and then AI hint generation that'll help me learn how to play Go better, because I'm really, really, really bad at this game. It also lays out the stack we're going to use, including GenKit and Gemini, TypeScript, Next.js, Tailwind, CSS, and it picked these lovely, very calm neutrals that evoke a Go board for the colors for the app. So normally I'd hit prototype this app right now, but we have a ton of content we need to get through, so I'm actually going to switch to one I did earlier. But, to prove that I am not doing any funny business here, I'm going to scroll up, and you can actually see my entire prompt history in Firebase Studio. That's one of the features we have, so you can look at your prompts, and you can see this is the prompt that I created this app with just a couple hours ago. So, exact same app. There's a slight bit of difference because there's a little bit of difference because we're using generative AI. So let's try it out. Let's open it in a new window, and let's put some stones on. That seems to work pretty good. Let's see what the AI has to say. It thinks I should move at A3 and gives me a whole bunch of reasons about it. Oh, pretty good. Considering there was a 2-word prompt, I'm pretty happy. But that's not the cool part of Firebase Studio for me. The magic trick is fun, but the cool part of Firebase Studio for me is that at any point, I can switch over to code mode, which means if I want to do a code review, if I want to manually add some features, if I want to integrate with a library that's custom to my company, I can do it all here. I have right here our GenKit flows for suggesting that move, giving that tips it wants. And I can actually look at this code and try to understand it, or when it comes up, I can have Gemini explain this to me. And all of this is available to me at any moment. You see all of the code is here. You can see all of the different code that goes into the app. And it will also give me the web preview, which is just taking a moment to load right now. Here's my game. So I can see it here, and there's my Gemini window. So I have full access to Gemini interactive chat for adding features, getting access to reference documentation just in time, asking questions about APIs, adding features to my product, all of it's available. Now, it's not perfect, but I'm pretty happy with it, so let's publish. And I'm going to actually do this live on stage, so we're going to create a rollout. This is going to push to Firebase Studio, and it's going to do a proper rollout. We're going to do a build of static assets. We're going to push those static assets to CDN. This isn't, just a little bit of a rollout. This is a real production-grade rollout. So this actually takes a couple minutes, and as I said, plenty of content to get through today, so we're going to come back to this at the end of the presentation when we get to the deploy stage of our SDLC loop, and we're going to see how it works, and we're going to show you some of the features Firebase Studio offers you after you deploy. Back to the slides.
Let's go back to the slide. That's super cool. I might finally learn how to play Go. I'm really, really excited to use your app. So, we recognize that bringing AI into your apps can be challenging. A year ago, we launched Vertex in Firebase, making it a lot easier, and it's already used by thousands of customers in production. Today, we're evolving Vertex in Firebase into Firebase AI Logic. Firebase AI Logic is one of the easiest ways to integrate, innovate, and deploy AI seamlessly in your apps. In addition to the Vertex API, you can now use Firebase AI Logic client SDKs to connect with the Gemini Developer API, which has a free tier. Also, we are launching experimental support for hybrid inference on Chrome browser. You can decide whether you want to run inference locally using Gemini Nano or in the cloud. And last but not least, we are launching Unity support, including support for Android XR. We are also expanding AI monitoring, which was also previously only available for GenKit, to let you monitor AI Logic client SDKs. In a single pane of glass, you can see things such as latency, error rates, tokens used, and even traces. But we didn't stop there. Aja, can you tell us more?
Of course I can. So one of the other pieces of Firebase AI Logic is GenKit. GenKit, if you're not familiar, is our open source toolkit for building powerful AI backends. It offers libraries, tools, and out-of-the-box integrations for many popular models and cloud services. And the community has given us a ton of feedback on GenKit, and I'm happy to say that we've heard you and we're thrilled to deliver things that you've been asking. At Next, we officially launched Python support in GenKit, and we've been working hard at refining that and also improving our Go support over the last several weeks. But that's not all. We've introduced dynamic model registration, which means you no longer need to wait for a GenKit update to use the latest models. And today, we're excited to announce GenKit.dev. This is your new go-to site for the most up-to-date documentation, code examples that you need to effectively use GenKit in your applications. So, awesome. Such a happy audience. So that's AI in the back end, but backend stuff other needs too, like storing data. What do we have for people who need to store data, etc.?
Well, almost every app needs a database. And you've been asking for the Firebase relational database for a while. We heard you loud and clear, and a year ago, right here at I/O, we announced Firebase Data Connect. Firebase Data Connect connects your application to data in Cloud SQL for Postgres with secure serverless APIs. We build Data Connect on one premise. You write the query, we do the rest. But what does it mean? For every query you write, we create an API endpoint, we define an auth policy for that endpoint, we generate strongly tagged SDKs in languages such as Kotlin, Dart, Swift, and Node.js, and we create tool definitions in case you want to use your queries as tools with an LLM. This significantly accelerates development and reduces time to value. Up next, we announced Firebase Data Connect GA. And today we are releasing two new exciting features. The first one is advanced query improvement. Now you can perform more sophisticated data retrievals with transactions that support additional server values and multi-step capabilities. And the second one is schema and query generation agent. When you're looking to incorporate Firebase Data Connect into your app, Gemini will turn your app idea into schemas, queries, and mutations. This agent is available in the Firebase Console and Firebase Studio, as well as in the VS Code extensions for Gemini Code Assist and Data Connect. Let's check it out really quick. Jump this laptop. There you go. So here I'm in the Firebase Console. I'm building, let's say I'm building an application for TV show reviews, right? And I want to have Data Connect. So instead of having to think, okay, I'm building a TV show review app, what are the entities I need, how they relate to each other, and most importantly, how I configure that in Data Connect using GraphQL. I can use the power of Gemini and the power of our Data Connect agent just to prompt what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to tell our Data Connect agent that app that helps track user reviews for TV shows. Let's see what happens. So by this is Gemini, right now the agent is analyzing my prompt. It's figuring out, okay, what are the entities that I need to do exactly what I've been asked, and configuring the schema. And here it is. I have the visual version on the left, and I have the GraphQL version here on the right. So let's see what we have. We have a user, we have a TV show, the TV show has episodes, that's pretty smart. User can watch TV shows, and then user can review episodes that they have watched. That's pretty impressive. So let's say I want to do something else. Let's say I want to track the cast for each episode, such as actors, producers, and their director. Let's see what we have. The agent is thinking through the process, understanding my prompt, using the view schema context, using the context of the full application. Boom. We made changes. Let's see what new attributes it added. So now I have a crew member that has a name and a role and a bio and a photo URL. Yeah, it's pretty smart. And then it has so that crew member is related to an episode, and it added a feature so users can follow each other. So the next step is I'm going to deploy this schema. This will automatically generate my Cloud SQL instance. It's provisioning the schema, it's provisioning the data sources. This might take a second. And here we are. Now we have a live database with the schema for our TV shows review. What is the next step? I need to add operations. Things as retrieving data, modifying data. I don't need to do that manually. If I go to operations, I can also use Gemini and our agent to generate those operations. So I click a button, and Gemini will automatically understand the context of the application, understand the schema, and suggest some of them. For example, add the TV show to the list, get the TV show, create a list, update the list. So let's say I want to create a new one. So I create that. I'm using natural language I can define the operation I want. So for example, give me